Hi everybody, we are going to be talking about chapter 11 today, which is physical development in middle childhood. We're going to start with fact or fiction. Number one, the best way to get children to lose weight is to increase their physical activity, and this is actually very much true. We try to not put children on diets, but to increase how much they are moving around. Number two, intellectual potential does not change over the lifespan. This is not true. Number three, the crucial factor in attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is neurological, a brain deficit that results in great difficulty in sustaining concentration. This is true. And number four, the diagnosis of a child with special needs depends on the child's social context, and this is actually also as well true. School children are remarkably hardy as measured in many ways. These charts show that death rates for 6 to 11-year-olds are lower than those for children under 6 or over 11, and about 100 times lower than for adults. The good health that most school children naturally enjoy may either continue or be disrupted, depending on basic practices such as eating a balanced diet, getting enough exercise and sleep, and breathing clean air. There are benefits and hazards to physical activity during middle childhood. Especially for low-income children, participation in structured sports activities correlates with academic achievement, less delinquency, and development of friendship. And this has to do with working together as a team and helping with problem solving when you're playing sports, less obesity, and better overall health are the benefits. The hazards have to do with low self-esteem depending on your abilities in the sports, injuries. It can reinforce of prejudice, especially against the other sex, and for some children, it can really increase their stress. So looking at this chart, you can see that by country, we're looking at children's exposure to TV commercials by food category: breakfast cereals, sweets, and fast food restaurants. And looking at the chart, you'd think, oh my gosh, do kids in Greece have more sugar than anywhere else? But look at the United States. Fast food restaurants is advertised much higher, as well as breakfast cereals. And that has to do with culturally, breakfast cereal is very prevalent and popular in the United States. So how does reaction time change from early childhood to middle childhood? Myelination improves the efficiency of thought and behavior, including reaction time. You'll see how increasing myelination reduces reaction time between a child at age 4 and at age 9. A more complex example of reaction time is being able to calculate when to say something funny and when to stay quiet. The intelligence quotient, an evaluation of one's score on an intelligence or aptitude test, was originally calculated as mental age divided by chronological age, multiplied by 100, so that someone of average intelligence for his or her age would score 100. Almost 70% of IQ scores fall within the normal range. Note that this is a norm reference test, but also note that a researcher found that average IQ scores have risen over decades in many nations. He called his findings after himself the Flynn effect. And this is showing you kind of where people fall in IQ testing. And there's something called the Mensa Society, and those are people that test for, I think, about 145 or higher. That's considered genius rate. Most of us fall between 85 and 115, and you can see that there's slow learners, mild retardation, and moderate to severe retardation, as well as being gifted and geniuses. There's 4 principles about developmental psychology. It's important to keep in mind that most disorders are comorbid, a term that refers to the presence of 2 or more unrelated disease conditions at the same time and in the same person. Also keep in mind that there's no simple link between cause and effect, which means that a specific behavior might be normal for children or might be an early sign of a serious problem. So developmental psychopathology is a field that uses insights into typical development to understand and remediate developmental disorders and vice versa. So one of the things we do is we diagnose and we treat. We figure out what is abnormal or not abnormal. And we also look at changes by year. So what are some disorders that school-age children experience? One is ADHD. This has to do with children having trouble paying attention. It also involves impulsive, overactive, and sometimes disruptive behavior. Autism spectrum disorder is characterized by inadequate social skills, impaired communications, and unusual play. Dyslexia is unusual difficulty with reading, thought to be the result of some neurological underdevelopment. So this has to do with educating children with special needs. When analyzing these numbers, keep in mind cohort effects. Also remember that some categories used in 2007 didn't exist in 1977. For example, children with ADHD, autism, or developmentally delayed would have been grouped in another category, which accounts for some of the changes you see. Internationally, it seems that the connection between special needs and education varies, even more for cultural reasons, not child-related reasons. So, if you look at developmental delay and autism spectrum disorder, they are not actually, developmental delay is not measured until 2007, and autism spectrum is not measured until 1997. So what you're going to do now, this is the end of chapter 11. You're going to go into the forum area now and answer questions regarding sports and obesity.